On today's edition of the Red Sox Rundown, I'm going to be grading the 10 biggest acquisitions the Red Sox made this offseason. But before we get to that, 1K by opening day. That is the motto, ladies and gentlemen. That is the goal, is to hit 1,000 subscribers by 2025 opening day when the Sox take on the Rangers in Arlington. Right now, we are sitting at 521 subscribers. We need 479. If we get to 1,000 by opening day, I will do a video boots on the ground at opening day. So if you want that, make sure you hit that sub button. But like I already said, today's show, we are going to be giving out grades for the top acquisitions of the Red Sox offseason. We're going to do 10, the ones that I think are the most significant and the ones that I think could have the most impact on the Red Sox this year. And we're going to start with the biggest one of them all, Garrett Crochet. It's an A+. It's an A+. I mean, when you look at the trade details themselves, you are getting Garrett Crochet and you are giving up a package of Kyle Teal, the number 25 prospect in baseball, Braden Montgomery, the 54 ranked prospect in baseball, Chase Mydroff, Winkelman Gonzalez. I love this trade for Boston, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you did not have to give up any of Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, and you did not have to give up a single major league player. There were talks of Wilyer Abreu. There were talks of Tristan Casas. There were talks of Cutter Crawford. You didn't have to do any of that. So for that reason, I love this trade for Boston. But one more thing needs to happen. Extend him now. We talked about this on my Perfect Spring Training video a few days ago. Crochet could be the next Tarek Skubal. I'm not just saying that because he's on the Red Sox. I firmly believe that. So please, for the love of God, extend Garrett Crochet. You guys let me know down below in the comments. I want to hear from you. I gave it an A+, but I want to hear your grade down below. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade it like it's like it's one of your teachers. Play teacher right now. Grade the Garrett Crochet trade down below in the comments. We're going to move on now to Alex Bregman, the most recent big acquisition. I'm going to give this an A. This was a move that desperately needed to happen. Jeff Passan was one of the people that broke it. Chandler Rome was the first person that broke it. 3 years, $120 million. Significant deferred money to bring the AAV down to about $30-ish million a year. Opt-outs after the first 2 years as well. Bregman is a picture-perfect fit in Boston. Not only are you bringing his bat, which we'll talk about in a second, his stats at Fenway are ridiculous, but you're bringing a clubhouse leader. It's no surprise that his locker is right next to Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, and Marcelo Myers. You want that proven leader who's done it before in this clubhouse of a bunch of young players. And like I already alluded to, this guy's an absolute monster at Fenway Park. I know we've all been talking about these stats all off season, but I just want to reiterate them. Bregman at Fenway is hitting .375, 7 home runs, 15 RBIs, and an OPS of 1.240. This guy is a monster. He is an absolute perfect fit for this team. So please relax. I have been seeing this take all over social media, Twitter, the YouTube comments, Instagram. People saying that this is a gross overpay. Those people, in my opinion, are ridiculous. With the deferred money, you get an AAV of about $30 million a year, give or take. I don't think that Bregman opts out next year, no matter what he does, because you're not going to say no to almost $40 million of AAV. There is more that goes into this than just the stats on the page, like I already alluded to. Clubhouse leader that's been there before. With this young core that you are growing, with this young potential superstar big three prospects that are going to come up at some point this year, you need that leader in the clubhouse, and Alex Bregman is that leader. All right, let's talk about our next acquisition, Walker Buehler. I'm going to give this a B, and the reason why is because at this point in his career, he is a bit of an unproven commodity. We know what he can be. We saw it in 2021. But are you getting 2021 Walker Buehler, or are you getting post-injury Walker Buehler? Now, Walker Buehler in 2021 was phenomenal. 207 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.47 ERA, 212 strikeouts, a whip of 0.968. That's Cy Young level stuff. But are you going to get that this year? He showed flashes in the postseason. Obviously, the final out of the World Series. You've got the famous, let's go pose photo that everyone has seen now. But do you get that in a full season? That's what we need to see. But you guys, let me know. What do you think? Do you trust Walker Buehler to have a good season this year? Type T for trust, type D for don't. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got that dog in him. I know he's excited to be in Boston. If he can replicate 2021 Buehler, even a fraction of 2021 Buehler, I'm going to be really happy. Okay, Aroldis Chapman. Did I want to give this an F? Yes, I did. But I'm not. I'm going to give it a C+. I'm just going to keep it a $1.50 with you. I'm not an Aroldis Chapman fan. Am I a 2010s, early 2020s Aroldis Chapman fan? Sure. But as we currently stand, every time he goes up to the mound, I am nervous. I do not want Aroldis Chapman to be the closer of the Boston Red Sox this year. I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll be Liam Hendricks. But as one of 3 lefty arms in your bullpen, having, Aroldis Chapman be one of them, while he can dominate at times, at times he can't hit the broadside of a barn. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a C+. We'll see what Aroldis Chapman we get. Moving on to our 5th, Carlos Narvaez. They got him in a trade this offseason. Had to do some digging on his profile. One of the biggest issues that the Red Sox had last year was defensive catching. Connor Wong, as good as he is, as much as we like him, was a bit of a liability behind the plate last year. He's a defensive specialist. He's not going to add a bunch of offensive value, but he could come in and be an effective backup. He's going to battle for that backup catcher position. We're going to talk about another potential backup catcher a little bit later in the video, but B-, solid, adds good defensive a good defensive specialty, which you didn't have last year with Connor Wong. So I'm fine with it. I'll give it a B+. Coming up next, 5 more offseason grades. Some smaller moves. We hit kind of the big ones at the top. We're going to get a little more in the weeds in a second. But before we do that, I keep doing the Instagram, guys, and I'm telling you, you're getting a great deal following on Instagram. It's absolutely free, and you're going to get all of the latest Red Sox news, rumors, injury updates. When Roman Anthony got scratched from the spring training game yesterday, the first place I posted was Instagram. So the handle is right there, at the Red Sox Rundown. Can we get to 100 followers as soon as possible? If we do that, if we get to 100 followers, I will go live on IG and do a Q&A. Let's get to 100 followers right now. All right, Patrick Sandoval. I'm going to give this one a TBD because as of now, we don't really know how much we're going to see of him. I doubt he plays much this year, honestly. He's coming off the Tommy John. This is something the Red Sox like to do. They like to bring in post-Tommy John pitchers that are still rehabbing. They like to give them a 2-year deal, let them rehab for that 1 year, maybe play a little bit at the end of the first year, and then come back in the second year and dominate. They just did that with Liam Hendricks. They're doing that with Patrick Sandoval. Patrick Sandoval was the Los Angeles Angels opening day starter last year. So if he still has the stuff and the potential that he had on the Angels last year, he could get a pretty high grade, but I don't think we see much of him this year, and that's why I'm going to give him a TBD for now. Justin Wilson, C-. This one sucks, and the reason why, he's one of your other 2 left-handed relievers. You have Aroldis Chapman, you have Justin Wilson, you have Brendan Bernardino, and we all know Bernie. He's been on the team for a while. I can't really trust him. However, there is intriguing value with Wilson. 9.8 K per 9. 2.5 walk per 9, 95th percentile chase rate. So yes, I give him a C-. The baseline stats don't look great, but if you dig into the weeds, he adds 95th percentile chase rate. He adds something the Red Sox have been desperately looking for the past few years. I think if you get him with Andrew Bailey and Craig Breslow, that C- could elevate rather quickly, but we need to see it first before I can give it higher than a C-. All right, we're going to move on. Blake Sabol. This was the other backup catcher they acquired via trade. They got him from the San Francisco Giants, and you only had to give up bonus pool cash to acquire him. And he has not seen a ton of time in the majors, but when he has shown flashes of being a relatively solid offensive catcher. Now, he's not going to break the bank. He's not going to be a William or Wilson Contreras or anything like that, but I do see him as Connor Wong's backup this year. I think Carlos Narvaez is going to battle. I think he's going to end up as the AAA catcher in depth, and I think Sabol is going to be the backup catcher for Connor Wong. He's definitely boom or bust. He brings good defensive value. He brings intriguing offensive upside. If he can actually unlock some of that offense up in the majors, I think he might be one of the most underrated acquisitions of the entire offseason. And that leads me to my next question. What do you think is the most underrated acquisition for the Red Sox this offseason? I think it might be Sabol, in my opinion, but you let me know down below in the comments who you think is the Red Sox most underrated acquisition of the offseason. Adam Ottovino, this was a more recent signing. We talked about it a few days ago. John Heyman was the first one to have it. Adam Ottovino on a minor league deal. I believe it was a $2 million base salary if he makes the majors. With the news of Penrod potentially going down with a serious injury that might sideline him for a lot of the season, and with Cutter Crawford potentially having surgery on that knee, that's something that's been floated out there, not official. This is good depth. Adam Ottavino's been here before. He's relatively reliable. He is good depth for $2 million. I like that signing. That's why I give it a B+. And the final player that we're going to talk about is Jovani Moran. We acquired him. The Red Sox acquired him via trade from the Minnesota Twins. This is an interesting one because you give away Mickey Gasper. Mickey Gasper infamously tried to get that first hit in the majors. Every time he was up to bat, they showed his parents, and every time it was very disappointing. Moran missed all of 2024 with Tommy John. But everything I've seen is he's got that dog in him. Don't underestimate him. He can be a solid pitcher. I give this a C because we don't know what he's going to bring. Coming off Tommy John is always a little bit of a stretch. Are you going to get the full confidence of the pitcher? Are you not? I'm not sure. But honestly, guys, I got to give it up to Craig Breslow. Getting anything for Mickey Gasper is incredible. Like, Craig Breslow just pulled off what I would like to call, and we at the Chat Sports community would like to call, highway robbery. Mickey Gasper does not have a hit in the major leagues, and you were able to get a relatively serviceable major league reliever. That is coming off of Tommy John, but, I give it a C. We got to see what Moran can bring, but trading Mickey Gasper and bringing back a potential major league pitcher, I do got to give some props to Craig Breslow. All right, that is it. Red Sox grades. Let me know what you think down below in the comments if I got anything right, if I got anything wrong. And remember, 1K by opening day. It's got a nice ring to it. I think, Producer Joe, I think it's got a nice ring to it. 1K by opening day. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers as fast as possible. And if we do, boots on the ground video from Globe Life Field in Arlington on opening day. That's it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, go Sox.